Hello and welcome to
Ooh, what was
World
that last move like?
Sand Project. I'm Shelley Carney, the magical sand genie and life coach to the rich and famous.
The MSG.
Welcome, one and all.
Thank you. Hey everybody, my name is Toby Younis. I'm your host and administrative assistant to the MSG, and today we have some giveaways.
Nobody likes MSG.
So that's our giveaway today. This is the photo from last week. Stick around with us for a while. I'll tell you how to win that. That's the Zona Hotelera Norte San Miguel de Cozumel, Quintana Roo, Mexico. And we also have a beautiful sample today. We have a photograph for that, but we'll leave that up to the sender of the sample, the collector of the sample, to choose between that photo and another beautiful sand pendant. So, and this one is from, the one we're looking at today is Maui.
Ooh.
So, it should be a pretty sample. No quartz in it.
What's up?
I wanted to do that message from Mel.
Oh,
You ready? I'm gonna go to intro. I heard a little chirp in there that started to make me nervous. Okay, so first of all, before I do housekeeping, I want to read this email that I got from Mel Rustad. Mel is one of our viewers on all three channels, right? Or Sand
Yeah.
Project. Does he do
Yes.
Sylvester Side?
Yeah, he even won,
he's won prizes on it.
prizes, yeah.
And he ordered, so I'm going to switch over a screenshot. So he ordered one of the mugs from Silly Woo Designs at Redbubble. I've put the link in the description box below. Silly Woo Designs is Alicia Carney Bonvieri, Shelley's daughter, and she's taken some of the images that we've shot and she's turned them into these various accessories. And Mel ordered the coffee mug. He says, I received the coffee mug with the Playa Santa Teresa sand imprint, very vivid colors, and a great companion to the pendant with the same sand that he had won. Mel from Oklahoma. He gives them to his granddaughter, Sky. So we just wanted to make you aware that's available to you as an option if you want. And the best way to do it is Redbubble doesn't do the best job of merchandising this stuff. So if you see something you like, these are the 5 images, distinct images that we sent her. You have to click on that the image that you like, not the product. And when you click on it, it takes you to a page with that product. But down here it says available on 58 other products. So you can look at all the other products that you can buy with this particular image of sand. So she's trying that out. We only sent her 5 pictures. If this works for her, we'll send her more images and she can make more products.
but you can see the mug down there.
Oh, you can?
There it is.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so that's the one. That's the one that Mel
Is it?
ordered.
Well, that's actually the Playa something or other.
That's the same
Is that the one he got?
Yeah, let me see. Let me make sure because she labeled it. Yeah,
Yeah,
Playa
Playa
Santa
Santa.
Teresa. So that's exactly the mug that he picked up.
Computer says no.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, if you're going to be that way, I'm not going to debate it. Okay. Anyway, I want to make you guys aware of that. So let's go back to full frame. Now this sample is from Maui. It's from. Let me get to real quick. It's from Baldwin Beach, Paia. Boy, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing these Hawaiian names correctly. Paia. Baldwin Beach Park, Paia.
Usually they say each letter they'll say it.
Paia.
Probably.
Paia.
Probably
On
Paia.
Maui, and this is on the north coast. Most of the tourist areas are on the south coast, which is where my ex and I used to go. On Maui and on the Hawaiian Islands, USA. And she sent us a little note, which I'll make a copy of. I'll scan and put into the collection of photos. She says, "Hi, Toby. Greetings from Idaho. I am sending the Maui sand, but I'm also sending a small bag of tiny double terminated crystals. They look like quartz, and they are. I'll explain what double terminated is. They don't actually qualify as. Well, that's interesting. They are the same size as the sand that we're looking at today, but they did not come with the sand. She says they fell out of a geode from Morocco that I cracked open. Look at them up close. Amazing. I also am sending some sapphire crystals from Madagascar. Record keepers, they call them. Very special. Notice the pyramids on them. Love, Linda. And the reason she sent those is on one of our other channels, we're building a treasure chest that we're going to hide this summer and make it available to our viewers on that. Not make it available, give clues to our viewers so that they can find it. And people are sending us things to incorporate in the treasure chest. And so we're going to take the double terminated sand crystals, quartz crystals, and put them in a little sample bottle. And I'll show them to you today, although, like I said, they don't qualify as sand. I don't know how that opened up. I'll show them to you today, and I'll show you the sapphires, although they don't look as good under a microscope as they do in your hand. They're just beautiful. But they're raw sapphires, and they're darned good size. I mean, they could make at least a pair of earrings, a small ring, and a pendant or something. But we're going to put those in the treasure chest. But I did take some pictures of them. That way you guys can see them. Okay? And then later on, I'm going to strongly suggest that you go to last Wednesday's show and make a comment. We're going to use the comments on last Wednesday's show to give away this picture of the Zona Hotelera Norte at Cozumel, or San Miguel de Cozumel. And that was the sample. Who sent us that? That was Brian Gates sent us that sample.
Okay.
And he chose the pendant, so that leaves a picture. And then today, depending on what Linda selects for herself, she has a choice of the photograph or the pendant, and whatever remains we'll give away next week. All right? Okay, so let's get to the imagery. And she did give me a phone number to call her, so we're going to give her a call and let her walk us through some of these. As a matter of fact, let me do that right now. And then
say that Alicia should put her products up on Etsy. Can you do that with Redbubble stuff?
No, you have to have products. You know, you're your own store on Etsy.
Okay.
In Redbubble, it's dropship, right? You create
Right.
the products, Redbubble prints them and then distributes them. On Etsy, you have to actually create the products yourself. Now, you could go to Redbubble, order a bunch of the products for yourself, and then
That seems like a lot of extra work.
yeah, it is. And for some people, it works out that way. You know, they prefer.
I suppose
to do
if you had other products as well.
Yeah. So I'm going to try and use as few open Chrome windows as I can today, because it turns out that I think it's Chrome that's knocking us out. But these are the links we'll be using. Let's look at the photos. And you can always find the photos at in this case, bit.ly/WSP0028 photos. So, and these links are in the description box below. So I want to change this to, I won't be able to do anything with these photos, but I'll make it World Sand Project. Okay, so this is the location, and as you can see, it's our line from here in Bernalillo, New Mexico to Maui, Hawaii, across the Pacific Ocean, 2,800 miles or so. I'm sure many of you have made the trip. This is the Hawaiian island chain. We were here a couple of weeks ago. This is the island of Hawaii, or the Big Island. This is where Honolulu is on Oahu, and we're on Kauai today. And as I said, most of the tourist areas down here on the southern coast. We're on the northern coast, which is where a lot of people live. But just, I went there looking, I thought, well, that would be a nice place to live. Let me see what houses are like. 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, which is what I have here in Bernalillo. They start around $550,000. So I might have to wait to move.
And it's everything else that's expensive.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
cost
yeah,
of
it's
living,
not cheap.
because it all has to be shipped in or flown in.
Exactly. So here we are at Baldwin Beach Park right there on Paia. But one of the trips that I took to Maui, this is the Haleakala crater. It's a dormant volcano. But down here, as you get closer, there's a small town, and there's a biking company, a bicycle company, and they take a truck every morning before sunrise. They take a truck up to the top of the mountain. It's around a 22-mile trip, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I've done it, but they park in the overlook parking area, and you get to see the sunrise. And what's weird is you're above the clouds, so you get to see the sunrise above the clouds, and then either use one of their bikes, which are big monster bikes. I mean, they're huge with drum brakes and things like that. I actually shipped my bike at the time to Maui, and I rode my bike down. It had disc brakes. It was a much lighter bike. It was what I'd call a hybrid. It was a cross between a road bike and a dirt bike, and I rode my own bike down the 22 miles, and it's exhilarating. You do have to wear their safety outfits, which included a full face helmet and kind of a jumpsuit and elbow guards and knee guards. And of course, I was much younger at the time. I mean, I don't know that I could do it today. But if you ever get a chance to ride down that road, and who knows if they're still doing it, there was probably some point at which a bunch of tourists rode off the edge of the road on their bicycles, and they don't do it anymore. But back then, it was really exciting. So if you ever get a chance to ride the road down Haleakala, I strongly recommend it. So if any of you have done that recently and it's still available. So these are a couple of photos that Linda sent me. So let's give her a call and let her tell her. She's got a little story that she wants to tell us about this beach on Maui. So we'll give her I just lost that number again. Okay. So she said she had a dental appointment and she didn't know if she was going to be out. We'll see if she's available. If not, the show will go
JK
on.
Pioneer says he did that bike ride, but that was in the 90s, I guess.
Yeah, everybody. I haven't heard anybody doing it recently. So
Hi, Toby and Shelley.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Hold on. Let me see. I can't hear you very well. Let me put you on speaker.
Okay, go ahead. Are you in your
All right,
car?
now I can hear you. I'm doing okay. Just got out of the dentist office.
Yeah.
I'm in my car.
Okay.
So
So actually, I'm a little bit loud. I'm going to turn myself down just a little bit. Okay. So we just talked about Baldwin Beach Park, and could you tell me how to pronounce the city? Paia.
I'm really not sure.
Okay.
I think Paia.
Yeah, that's kind of. Shelley said that in Hawaiian you pronounce all the letters, so that's what we came up with.
I think it's pronounced Paia, but I'm not sure.
All right, on the northern coast of the island of Maui. So I wanted to give you the opportunity to tell the story that you told me to our viewers
Oh, okay.
about Baldwin Beach.
All right. Well, I went to Baldwin Beach myself the first time in I think around 1980, maybe it was 79. And I thought it was, a beautiful beach. It's a mile-long beach of just, white sand. Not very many people. It's a park. There's a park there called Baldwin Beach, and it was named after Baldwin was the last name of a man who had a pineapple farm near there. And I think part of it was a pineapple farm, but I don't think it is still. I haven't been back to Baldwin Beach since then, but my brother Paul lived on Maui, and he lived up in Haiku, which is the high country of Maui that kind of overlooks that side of the island.
Yeah.
And he built houses and things, and after work, him and his friends would always go down to Baldwin Beach. He was a surfer, and he would go down there every day and surf if he could. And he got to be known as the mayor of Baldwin Beach.
Wow.
He was there for years.
Yeah.
And my parents went to visit him there. They had a condo on Maui also. And they would go and see him there, and they would picnic at Baldwin Beach Park because it's a beautiful park there. The Hawaiian people, you always see people there on the weekends. Lots of Hawaiian people having big pig roasts, and they have lifeguard there. It's right near Baby Beach, which is a beautiful little beach to the east of it, and it has a lot of amenities at this park. It's a free park. It has, showers and bathrooms.
We're gonna take an up close look at it in just a few minutes after we finish your call with you.
Okay.
So tell me the story about your was it your father whose ashes?
Yeah, my father passed away, and I was not able. I had a tragic accident where my son was killed, and I couldn't go to my father's burial at sea because of that. It was right around the same time that they had planned this. So some of my family members went over, and they had a burial at sea, a Hawaiian burial. They went out in a canoe with flowers and leis and things, and they buried him at sea there. And unfortunately, I have a lot of beautiful pictures, and I'm still looking for them. They're probably somewhere in a storage unit right now. So I wasn't able to get them. But I have a lot of beautiful pictures of it. Unfortunately, I wasn't there. So then this summer, okay, my brother Paul, he moved to the Big Island, and he built a home over there. And he just passed away about a year and a half ago. And I went over to see him, and then went over afterwards to collect some of his belongings. And he wanted to have a burial at Baldwin Beach. Also, my mother wants to be to have her ashes
spread there. So it sounds like your family has this great connection to that particular beach. Right?
Yeah, they do. They do. And unfortunately, I do not like to fly. I have a fear of flying. I hadn't flown in 25 years, and I finally went over there because my brother was sick with cancer, and so I went over to see him, and I hadn't seen him in a long time either. And it was wonderful, and I really enjoyed going to the Big Island, which I had never been to the Big Island. I used to live on Kauai. I was on Kauai for a year and a half. Many years ago. But so I had some close calls in an airplane, one particular one, and it pretty much stopped me from flying. So here I have my mother's ashes, and I have my brother's ashes now. And so last summer, I paid for my daughter to go to Maui. She had never been to Hawaii. So I paid for her and her boyfriend to go on a trip where they got engaged on Maui. And I gave some of the ashes for my brother and my mom for them to take them and to put them in the ocean at Baldwin Beach, which they did. Now, I've been planning. I was supposed to go last year, and I didn't. And I still have most. It's kind of embarrassing, that I haven't done this. People are like, why haven't you done this yet? And I still haven't taken most of my mom's and my brother's ashes to Baldwin Beach, but I'm planning on. I was going to go this spring, but now with everything going on with, riding in airplanes with people that could have the coronavirus, I've been a little leery about flying. So I haven't booked a trip, but my daughter and I were going to go to Maui this spring, and we'll see what happens.
Well, I do want to offer my services if you ever find yourself in the situation where you have to send someone to Maui to spread the ashes of your mother and your brother. I would be happy to do that for you if you paid for the flight.
Well, thank you. I've had that offer from different people.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I do want to do it. I'm going to make myself do it. It's okay, I still have their ashes. They're in a sacred place, and I honor them being there in my home. And I've taken some of their ashes and sprinkled them around my yard and stuff, so I know they're there.
That they're still there.
Yeah.
So do me a quick favor and quickly describe. So you told me in one of your emails, you're actually. Your email address is like Unique Rocks or something like that. Tell me a little bit about your rock hounding side of you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've been a rock hound since I used to go rock hounding when I was 5 years old in Death Valley with my father. And we always, he got me into liking rocks. And then as I got older, I really found out through a long story, which I won't tell you, but I decided that I really love rocks and things, and that I wanted to make it into a business. So I made my passion into a business, and for 25 years I've ran a business. Originally it was called Hughes Jewel Gallery, but it turned into Unique Rocks. And one of the things that been doing for most of my adult life is going out into areas that I've found in books and just what people have told me. And I've done a lot of rock collecting. I have about 50 large 5-gallon buckets on the side of my house right now, full of agates,
Yeah,
crystals.
that sounds like a rock
Geodes.
hound. That's the
Yeah,
sign of a rock hound. 5-gallon buckets filled with rocks.
yeah. I have cutting I have cutting equipment,
Mhm.
and I do cut and polish stones as well. Um, and I do a lot of hiking, and I've found a lot of amazing things out there that just seem to appear to me. That's why I think I've always really felt that I could find the Forest Fen treasure, is because I just I just feel like when I'm hiking over the hills, I just see the most beautiful and amazing thing, and I think no one has ever seen this
Yeah,
just
yeah,
lying here.
yeah.
And I feel like I have this magical thing within me that can make me manifest that. And I truly believe that I have a really good chance of finding the treasure. I've been studying the book all winter. I've given up on, you know, watching all the podcasts and
Mhm,
everything,
mhm.
just really diving in back into the poem,
Yeah,
back into um, just what Forrest has said,
yeah.
and taking notes on that and really thinking it out. So I'm getting ready to go to Wyoming
Mhm.
as soon as possible. I've got another area that I've searched for. I want to go back there. And I'm hoping that I can find it. I really believe that I have a good chance because I'm really practical, and I think that it's out there waiting for me.
Well, good. That's the way
Don't
to
we
believe it.
all?
That kind of manifestation usually results in good things. So before we've got to sign off here so that we can go on with our imagery. But we've always offered folks. Are you watching the show right now, or are you in your
Yeah, I
car?
was, except for right now I've got you on speaker, so
All
I
right.
can't see
So
it or
so when
anything.
you
But
see this, we
okay,
always offer the person who sends us a sample the choice of a 4x6 dye sublimation print framed and matted. And we have a real pretty microscopic shot of your sample, or your other choice is a pendant, a glass pendant that we filled with the sand that you sent us. So you have a choice of those, and then we'll give the other one away. Any preference?
yes, I would love to have the photograph that you did.
Okay, all right.
I've
Well,
seen it already, and it's
oh,
beautiful. I
okay.
really
Well,
like it
it's
a
the
lot.
one. It's the one that we used for the thumbnail for this show, and it's the one that we posted on Reddit and in the Sand Facebook group. So I will send that to you. I have your shipping address already, so I'll send that
And
to
that's
you.
from the Baldwin Beach
Pardon me. Yeah,
picture.
yeah. It's Baldwin. Both the pendant and the photo are Baldwin Beach. We're giving another photo away today from last week, which is the Cozumel, the Zona de la Norte Beach in Cozumel. So that's the giveaway for today.
I've been to Cozumel. It's once. But can you share that picture you took of the crystals? I did look at it.
Yeah, hang on.
Can you
Let
share
me do
that?
it. What I'll do is I'll go directly there, and you'll be able to see them because we got to get on with the other parts. So here's the picture.
Yeah.
It'll come up in a few seconds because you're delayed. So that's the picture of the double terminated quartz crystals in microscopic size, and I measured them, and they're about the same size as a grain of sand, actually, the 2 millimeter range.
They're really cool. If you want more of those, let me know. I have.
Well, I don't know whether you heard me say so, but what we're doing is we're going to put those. We're going to put them in a sample bottle and put them in the tray. Oops, I wasn't on screenshot. I'm sorry. So
That's exciting. Yeah, I'm not. Look, I'll view it
all
later.
right, so you can view it later, and we're going to go through them in just a minute anyway.
Okay.
But thank you very much for allowing me to call you. Thanks very much for the information. You sent us a great sample. We're going to share that with our viewers right now.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Toby and Shelley, for all that you do, and really appreciate it. I love this project that you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I'll put the picture, the photograph in the mail this weekend.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay.
I can't wait to get it. It really means a lot to me.
My pleasure. It's our pleasure.
Thank you.
You have a good day.
Oh, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, that was the collector of this sample, and I think we've already done this, the maps. And I wanted to show you some pictures that, go ahead, that these first two pictures are the ones that Linda sent. And beautiful, as you can see, the background of the mountains. This area up here is called Baby Beach. I'm not sure why they call it Baby Beach, but it's just as beautiful. And then these were two that came from Google, and they almost looked the same. But again, the bay goes around there onto from Baldwin Beach onto Baby Beach, and then this is a sunset shot.
Siri talking to us?
I don't know. Siri's talking to us about something. This is what the sample looked like, and I broke it down. So this is the sample that will go in the bottle. This was the one that was the smaller than 1 millimeter, and this is the one that was that screened through the 2 millimeter. This is the material that didn't screen through the 2 millimeter, but I kept it anyway, and you'll see a photo of that. We have this new card that gives us an idea. So what we discovered is that the larger of the two is very coarse sand, and it's what's called well-rounded. That means it's very worn on the edges. The second is somewhere between medium and coarse. Coarse and medium sand, and it too is well-rounded, and that comes from the fact that it's being tossed around in the waves. Whenever I sort the sand and go to pour it in the bottle, I use a funnel, small metal funnel, and for some reason that has the effect of sorting the grains so that the smaller grains are on the bottom, the larger end up on the top. I don't know why it does that. There was a little bit of magnetite in the sand, which makes sense, of course, because it's an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and like most of the Hawaiian Islands, there's a lot of basalt that comes up, and that basalt will contain magnetite. So this is a big overview of the sand, and I can honestly say there's very few geologic specimens in here. Most of it is biogenic in the sense that it's calcium carbonate falling into one of three categories. This category here, which is the foraminifera, this category here, which is shell material, the shiny stuff, and then a category that consists of coral that has been processed by the parrotfish and then washed onto shore. But again, you can see it's at least sub-rounded, and in some cases pretty well rounded. That's a close-up shot. Again, when you see something like this with all the holes on it, that at one time was a biogenic and had a living creature inside of it. A lot of those, a lot of this stuff, and the foraminifera stuff, the calcium carbonate from foraminifera tends to not be as shiny. It never shines up as well as some of the shell material that you see here. And the colored ones are usually shell material. And coral, so these pieces right here that are kind of angular and have little protrusions, that's coral. What happens is the parrotfish consumes the coral, and it extracts bacteria from it because it feeds on the bacteria, and it actually has a sharp beak. The fish actually has a sharp beak on it that breaks off the coral, and it doesn't do it enough damage so that it destroys the reef. They have a very compatible, what do they call it, symbiotic relationship, because they take bacteria off the coral that could be damaging to the coral. They process that through their systems, and they excrete it onto the ocean floor, and then it's washed up. We like to call it fish poop, but hey. So this is another overview shot of the smaller set of grains. And you see some funny material. I got a kick out of this one. You saw it in one of the closer shots where there's a shell and then it has a piece of shell embedded in it. Like it actually has a hole and the shell, another round piece embedded in it. You can see shell material here. That's very biogenic. There's another one of those pieces right there. I haven't been able to explain that, and I haven't put it under the microscope for enough time to explain it, but you can see right here that shell within a shell kind of thing. The only, you can see this is probably basalt here, the dark colored material. That is not likely shell material. It has a dull look to it, non-metallic, non-shiny. So as the basalt is processed, it doesn't shine up. It wears down. So it just stays the dull color. But you can see there's very little in this sample. It's mostly biogenic material. This is the photo that I used to make the print that Linda selected. It included these two very microscopic shells. Those, remember, we're talking about material that's the size of a grain of sand, but that's very definitely shell material and probably held something. Here's the best shot of a foram that I got. The little holes indicated that's where their little spiny legs come out and collect their food. And this was the best shot of a shell that I got. But I thought this was interesting because it looked like a rock. And what I mean by that is it looks like a conglomerate. It looks like a bunch of minerals stuck together in a conglomerate, which is very possible. But again, there's no quartz. We don't see very much quartz. If we do see quartz on a Hawaiian island, that's likely been a beach that's been replenished with quartz from outside Hawaii. So this was the larger of the stuff. It didn't make it through the 2 millimeter sieve. Just came up on top. And as you can see, it's all shell material. The flat colored ones, forams, the polished ones, actually shell material. So she did send me some sapphires that she had collected, and she said they were from Morocco, the sapphires, and the quartz crystals are from Morocco. And as you can see, these have tiny bits of the sapphires, have tiny bits of gold in them, which is not unusual. And then they also have some citrine crystals in them as well. So we're going to take those, we're going to put them in a sample bottle, and we're going to put that in the treasure chest that we're hiding this summer. She also sent me a glass full of these miniature quartz, what are referred to as double terminated crystals. And the fact that they're double terminated, geologically speaking, makes them rare. But what happened where she got these was she had opened up a geode. She mentioned that she's a rock hound and she makes a business of rock hounding, rock collection, gemstones, etc. And she had opened up a geode, cracked the geode in half, and all these miniature crystals fell out of the geode. So she sent those to me, and we're going to put those in a sample bottle as well and include them in the treasure chest. So before I go on and I put this under the microscope, what I'd like you to do is I would like you to go to last Wednesday's video and make a comment, because that's the video from the Cozumel, and make a comment on that video, and later on, before we close the show, we'll give this away, okay? That image away, because our sender of that Cozumel sample selected the pendant, and we sent that to him. So this shirt and this headset do not work together. It's starched and it just gets hung up on it. Sorry, I'm not complaining, guys. So this is the smaller sample of grains. No, I'm sorry. This is the larger. This made it through the 2 millimeter, but didn't make it through the 1 millimeter. And you can see a big variety. But again, the only basaltic rock in there is that one there in the middle. All the other shiny material is shell. That may not be, but the colors and the shiny material is actually shell material or forams. So I'm going to wander around here just to see if there's anything. By the way, this is the new camera, and I think what I discovered is that
That one's interesting.
Which one, the red one or
This bumpy one.
the one with a bumpy one? That always reminds me of a turtle shell.
Me too.
Yeah, but it is shell, and it's biogenic in that it was created by an organism that had probably at one time lived inside that object. So really good. It's not well sorted. There's a lot of different sizes in it. That's one thing. It is pretty well rounded. You can see all the edges are smooth. There's not a lot of angles on them. They're all pretty well rounded, and it's an excellent sample in the variety of material that's in there. So let me get a little closer. Now this one, because it's a larger sample, is going to take up a lot of space in the screen. So you're going to get dizzy right there where we do that. So you can see normally when we have a smaller sand sample and we go in this close, you can see a lot of different pieces of material. This one is so big, the sand size. Now, again, according to how they describe sand as 2 millimeters and smaller, this qualifies as sand. But a beautiful variety of material, beautiful and colorful variety of material. Let's see if we can get down to that one that you thought you liked. Let's see. Right over in this direction, was it?
Mm-hmm. I think it's right there.
There we go.
Yellow and white.
Yeah, there we go. So definitely biogenic. The little holes are from miniature worms that actually have a symbiotic relationship with the shell material. But at some point or the other, some oceanic miniature creature created that shell as a mechanism for self-defense. And then when they outgrew it, they dropped it off and it's sunk to the bottom of the seafloor, and then had the opportunity. This I thought was a really pretty one. I did get a shot of this earlier. So it's the combination of that translucent shell and kind of a dark purple that was interesting. Let me show you real quickly the smaller of the sample set. And this one does show well closer up. But again, no rocks, no quartz. That's as close as we're going to get to a rock right there. But lots of different shell material in the smaller sample. Now, when I put these back into the sample bottle, they'll mix up again. And in this case, I'm actually creating 3 different sample bottles. One of the sample bottles will be the medium coarse. The other sample bottle will be the coarse sand. And the third will be those extra pieces that didn't make it through either sieve. They're not actually sand, but they deserve to be, I feel like they deserve to be reserved. And this is what they look like. And I'm going to have to zoom way, way out to give you anything because they're so big. So these are the pieces that actually didn't make it through the 2 millimeter sieve. But again, it's all shell material. And if it had the time, there are some forams right there at the top, the ones that aren't shiny. But given enough time, they'll all smooth out, and they'll go back into the water. The water will break them up even more, and then they'll come back onto the beach in progressively smaller pieces. Now that could take thousands of years. That's not something that's going to happen overnight. So that's one of the things about sand. You could be looking at a grain of sand that, especially if you're looking at sand from the continent, whenever we look at a river sand, for example, it could have taken 200 million years to create that grain of sand. That's what's amazing. So it outlived the dinosaurs. Let me give you a close-up before we go of those quartz crystals. Oh, poor Janet. She and I have been
Playing phone tag
now for... So let's see how close we can get to these crystals so that we
Invite
can...
her over for Saturday.
I'm going to. I think she wants to go to the movies. Let me see if I can find it. Let me zoom back out just a little bit. So these are the miniature crystals. They're about the size of grains of sand that came out of a geode that she broke open. And again, what makes them unique is the ones that are there and so visible are what are referred to as double terminated. That means they end up in pyramids at both ends of each grain, but you're looking at grains or crystals that are about the size of a grain of sand. The likelihood, being inside a geode, the likelihood of that being broken down over hundreds of millions of years, it is possible, because that's how these happen. So these crystals, which are basically Mohs scale 7 quartz crystals, could have been broken out of that geode. That geode may have fallen, broken out. They would have fallen onto the ground, and then via weathering and mass wasting, ended up in a river and then up on a beach. But that would have taken literally hundreds of millions of years for that crystal to have ended up on a beach, and those weird set of circumstances. That's why sand is so difficult to replenish, because it takes so long to make. And then finally, and I got to zoom way out for these. These are the sapphires, and there are just a few of them. And both the crystals that you just saw and these sapphires, these are just collected sand, literally collected off the ground, will end up in small sample bottles. This is the one that has gold embedded in it. They'll end up in small sample bottles. Oh no, those are crystals. I thought that was gold. No, those are crystals. Those are citrine crystals inside the sapphire. So they'll end up in a sample bottle, and we're going to put that in the treasure chest that we're giving away on our other channel. So if you want to know more about the treasure chest, go to A Gypsy's Kiss. A Gypsy's Kiss is our other YouTube channel. So good sample, a great sample from Maui, Hawaii. And I hope you enjoyed those images. So I got to do a couple of things now before we close up. So I'm going to go back to full screen. And today we're giving away this photograph of the sand sample, last week's sample from Cozumel. And if you want a chance at winning it, go back and make a comment on last Wednesday's video. All right? In the meantime, I want to take care of this because I didn't earlier.
Housekeeping, you want towel?
You want towels because you're going to the beach. Remember to like this video. YouTube likes it when you like this video. The MSG likes it when you like this video. Share it with your family, your friends, your neighbors, your business associates, the entirety of your social networks, and that way we can
Grow the channel.
Finally, if you're not already, well, that was a quick little grow the channel.
We're trying to wrap it up.
Yeah, we're trying to wrap it up. We got to get on to the next show. I was going to say,
Gonna subscribe.
if you're not already a subscriber, this would be an ideal time to subscribe. By pressing that subscribe button. When you see the notifications bell, ring that bell, and that way, whenever we start a live stream, you'll be immediately informed and
In the know.
Because there's nothing better in life than being in the know. All right, you guys ready for a giveaway?
Except for maybe winning a prize. But
Winning
you got to
a
be in the know to
prize.
win a
Gotta be in
prize.
that's it. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So let me go to Video Manager for
last week's video.
last week's video.
Getting the link so we can
Oops. Let's say educate. We need to switch accounts here.
get back to the right one.
Okay, so let's go to a window shot. And we are going to Video Manager. And in Video Manager, we're going to go to last Wednesday's video. Oh, no, we can do live here. Ugh, I hate your YouTube.
Be nice.
All right, so that is
Zona
Hotelera in San Miguel de Cozumel. All right, so there we are. That's the image that you're going to win if you win it. It's one of a kind. I will not make another copy of that image.
And if you've already won a prize,
If you've already won a prize, on the World Sand Project, we'll redraw. We want to spread these out to other people. And we have, the problem is, of course, we have a small audience right now. So it'll be progressively more difficult as our audiences grow. But for now, I'd like to have as many people. I'd like to give these away to as many as we can. So assuming, of course, I remember all of that. All right. So I'm just very grateful we didn't get knocked off YouTube today.
oh,
Yeah. I didn't go to maps, though.
you mean, I thought you meant that YouTube would make us leave or something.
Oh, what does that mean? More options?
I don't know.
Thing. What is that?
I don't know, but we're doing a prize thing right
prize
now.
thing.
So
So
let's
I'm
do
copying
that.
the link. We're going to go to, where am I going?
Commentpicker.com.
Commentpicker.com. We're going to go to the
YouTube.
YouTube tools, YouTube rounded comment picker. Okay, so we're going to pick the comment from that. Let's see how many people are on there. 15. Wow, okay. So if you've already won, we're going to pick another name, okay? Because we want to spread these prizes out. And again, what you're winning is a photograph of the sand sample from Cozumel. Beautiful sample.
And the winner is Trap Country.
Trap Country. Isn't that the guy that wants to be our friend?
Yes.
Okay, well, he's picked.
If he sends us his mailing address in the next week, Trap Country is the winner. Otherwise, we'll redraw next week.
So Trap Country has only been making enough comments long enough to tell us that he wants to be our YouTube friend. So I don't know if it's a bot or if it even exists. But Trap Country, if you're watching this and you send me your shipping address and you do so by next Wednesday's show, I will send you this image. Okay?
And if you do not send it by next Wednesday,
we'll
we
give
will
it away.
Redraw,
Yeah,
and
we'll
somebody
redraw.
else will win.
So the smartest thing that you can do is when we finish today's show and it's processed by YouTube is make a comment, because sooner or later we always give our things away on Wednesdays. All right. So just make a comment on Wednesday's show. So Trap Country. I better start making notes right now. Hang on.
And for those of you who are part of the Softer Side community, we will be starting our next show in 15 minutes. So head on over there, thesofterside.live, to tune in for today. We'll be talking about the monkey bars of life. Learn more by tuning in.
She didn't prep this one for me, so if nothing else, it could be interesting in that Toby will not know what she's talking about.
Yes.
And I'm thinking about moving this show to 2 o'clock, not this Friday, but the following Wednesday, so that we have enough time between the two shows. And I'm okay with that.
We'll see.
Because I feel like we're always rushing it at the end, and I don't want to rush your show, and it leaves the possibility of making mistakes, and I don't want to do that either. Okay?
We'll see.
So keep talking to folks while I do this real quick.
Okay. So thanks for being here and for, all your comments and questions in the chat room. And I'm going to play the music for checking out. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate all your comments, your questions, your chat, and your presence, of course. Thank you for subscribing as well and for sharing our channel with your friends and family. And for those of you who have sent us a sand sample or are planning to, we appreciate you as well. And for World Sand Project, I'm the magical sand genie and life coach to the rich and famous, Shelley Carney.
And I'm Toby Younis, Administrative Assistant to the Magical Sand Genie and Life Coach to the Rich and Famous. So thanks for joining us today. We hope you liked this sample. And please, if if you're near a source of sand, and honestly, if you're in the desert, go to an arroyo, you're near a source of sand, and they'll make beautiful samples. So please feel free to send us one. We have a video down below that tells you what to do and how to send it and where to send it, so please take a look at that video. And for those of you that are on the Reddit Rockhound group, Reddit Geology group, thank you for your support. And for those of you that come from the Facebook International Sand Collector Society group, we thank you very much for your support, and we look forward to you sending us one of your samples so that we can review on your show. Thanks for your support, guys. We really do appreciate it.